leaving on the table because of lack of clarity? What have you said no to because of lack of clarity? What have you walked away from because of lack of clarity? What are you saturated in? What are you soaking in right now in your life because of lack of clarity? And the truth that you've been negotiating is probably holding hostage the clarity. The truth is where the clarity is. So the first question was, what truth have you been negotiating with? And this leads to my next question is, have you become so good at surviving that you've forgotten to build? How many of us are guilty of that? That we've become so good at surviving that we forgot to build. What is it that you are not building because you have gotten so comfortable? You know, you were building something at some point in your life, before the trauma, before the tragedy, before the divorce, before the diagnosis, before the hurt, the pain, the guilt, the shame. You were building something before you had all the birthdays, right? Before the separation, before the job loss, before the death, before whatever it is that you went through. How long have you just been surviving? And that is a very, very deep question. So for those of you that are taking notes, ask yourself this question. Have you become so good at surviving that you've forgotten how to build? That is pretty serious. And like I say, this is not going to be an inspirational, motivational conversation. This is going to be more of an investigation. So I'm framing the work, and I'm certified to do that. I got plaques back here, and I've investigated for so many years, right? My whole career was as an investigator, right? And I think to get to the truth and to get to the level that we want to be in our life, we have to conduct an investigation on ourselves. And we have to do that by seeking the truth and what we have been negotiating as it relates to the truth. And then have we become so good at surviving that we've forgotten to continue to build? And this leads to the third question I want you to think about. And this is another serious one. This is a serious one. If I secretly recorded your last 30 days, would the evidence support the future you say you want? I'm going to say that again. If I secretly recorded your last 30 days, would your evidence support the future you say that you want? Let that sink. Are you doing the things? Are you making the moves to get to the place where you want to go? Now, if I talk to you in conversation, because you're intelligent, right? So this live is filled with all intelligent people. But if I spoke to you in conversation, you would give me so many reasons on why you're not where you want to be or what happened, and give the excuses or the reasons. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, if I am secretly being recorded, am I doing the things to support the future that I say I want? I don't know. What have you been calling? I'm waiting on God, right? That's actually fear disguised as faith. Stop blaming God. Stop saying I'm waiting on God. And the truth of the matter is, you lack in faith. Don't put that on him. A lot of us like to hide behind the verses. But I want the smoke today. Stop waiting on God. Stop using that as an excuse when fear is the true reason. But it's easier to get you off my back if I say, I'm waiting on God. God's waiting on you to get rid of your fear and have faith. So for those of you who are taking the notes, this is the question. What have you been calling, I'm waiting on God? That is actually fear disguised as faith. If nobody applauded your next move, would you still make it? If no one applauded your next move, would you still make it? That's a deep one. The reason why that's so deep, because a lot of us are making moves for the wrong reason. We're not identifying our purpose. We're identifying who our fans are. We're identifying who our associates are. We're identifying who we would like to please or who we think would approve of who we are. The truth of the matter is, if no one clapped for you, would you still make the same move? Who actually benefits from you staying exactly where you are? Who is the beneficiary of you holding it right there? Who's benefiting from you staying exactly where you are? Ask yourself that question. How many people are benefiting from you on pause? Are they being parasites? Are there leeches in your life? Are people benefiting from you not moving to the next level? How many people are benefiting from you staying exactly where you are? There are people right now in your life, whether you want to admit to it or not, there are people in your life that are benefiting from you not making your next move. There are people in your life that are benefiting from you staying exactly where you are. Identify who those people are. Think about it. What version of yourself keeps interrupting the person that you're trying to become? It gets deeper. What part of you keeps interrupting the part of you that you want to become? Are you becoming? And if you're not becoming, what part of you keeps interrupting the part of you that is trying to become? There's a difference between explanations and excuses. Excuses give you a hall pass to stay exactly where you are. Explanations is a reason why you couldn't get to where you need to go, but you still have an opportunity to get to where you want to go. An explanation explains the lack of ability to attend or to be present. An excuse is a crutch. An excuse will allow you to be in the same place. And one thing about excuses compared to explanations, most often you only need one explanation, but there are several excuses. Figure out where you sit in that equation. What promise did you make to yourself that you've quietly broken? What promise did you make to yourself that you quietly break and often break? How many promises are you making to yourself that you're breaking? I'm going to stop doing this thing. I'm going to stop consuming this thing. I'm going to start. Tomorrow marks next week. I'm not going to be here anymore. I'm going to leave this job. I'm going to leave this relationship. I'm going to start going to church. I'm going to purge all the problems. Like, what promises are you quietly breaking? What promise did you make to yourself that you've quietly broken more than once? And that's why I wrote this song. There's so many grown adults that are suffering from unhealed wounds. There's so many adults that are suffering from trauma and traumatic situations that should have been released years ago. But you're walking around exhausted from life because you're holding on to that version of you that you should have released years ago. Ask yourself, if you are exhausted, why are you carrying that version of yourself that you should have released years ago? If success required you to become someone your current friends would not recognize, would you still want it? Ooh, I'm going to slow that one down. If you becoming successful require you to become someone your current friends or family would not recognize, would you still want that success? If there were no likes, no paycheck, no money in the bank, not popular, not known, didn't even have a reputation, who are you at this point? Are you being what society say you should be? Are you being who's accepted by your friends and your family and your coworkers? Who are you? Do you even know? Does it even matter? Who would you be in the dark? Who would you be if no one saw you or noticed you? Can you become one with that person? And are you being that person? Or are you being guided by a title? Are you being persuaded by a paycheck? Are you being convinced by a like, a follow, a stat, a reputation? These are all things that trick us out of being who we were purposed to be. Paychecks, there are people in jobs because they got comfortable with the lifestyle that the job provide in lieu of being comfortable with who they really are. So I'm going to ask this question. If I remove your title, your paycheck, your followers, and your reputation, who would be still standing? What truth are you asking God to change that He has already given you the responsibility to change? But some of us may answer that, and I'm waiting on God to give me clarity. But the truth is, you already have authority, and it's your responsibility to change. Why haven't you? Stop blaming Him for not providing what you already have. You just scared. You just have fear. Stop blaming it. I'm going to have faith on God. No, you got fear in you. You got fear on you. You already have the authority in many cases to get to where you need to go and to do what you would like to do, but you're just not taking responsibility. If you want to know the answer to your why, ask your habits. Your habits have the answers to all of your why nots. Your habits. So write this down. Your habits are voting for your future every single day. So write this down. Potential impress people. Execution change lives. Potential impresses people. Execution will change your life. A lot of us live our life based on our potential. A lot of us engulf in relationships and situationships and businesses, and we invest in things. And we do things based on potential. Potential impress folk. Execution change folks. Okay? The miracle is in one step. The miracle is in the first attempt. The miracle is in the forward movement. The miracle is in the doing, not talking. The miracle is in becoming, not desiring. Sometimes the miracle isn't the door opening. It's finally taking the first step. This is going to help us, and we're going to chip away at it. The first thing that I want you to do is decide. Decide. Okay? Put that in the chat. Decide. Okay? Decide, one, is to remove the distractions. Don't negotiate with them. Remove the distractions. Distractions prevent clarity. Remove the distractions. Two, decide to do this second thing. Try to have one courageous conversation. One courageous conversation. What does that mean? What conversation has not occurred that needs to happen? Is it a business opportunity? Is it settling a debt? Is it a relationship that's been broken? Have you been hurt by someone and they don't know because you don't have the courage? Is something bothering you? Do you need to say something that you have on your chest or you've been carrying around for years? Is there an opportunity on the table that you need to have enough courage to speak about, to confront someone? So decision 2 is to have one courageous conversation. And here's the third one. Say yes to one opportunity that you have been avoiding. Say yes to one opportunity that you have been avoiding. Do you need to return a phone call? Do you need to accept the opportunity? What are you avoiding? What are you afraid of? Time is not necessarily on everyone's side. So, make this decision. Say yes to one opportunity that you have been avoiding. And then here's the last decision. Come back next Tuesday so we can evaluate where this investigation has taken us and that we're being honest. So hopefully you understand that I'm here to see what you've been missing and to find the opportunities in what you have been missing. You know what I'm saying? Walk away with this. I want us to all be able to see clearly through the right lens. And the right lens is the lens that God is giving you to see from. Right? These glasses give me sight, but God gives us vision. So let's try to see clearly. Be bold. Be bold. Stop being so reserved with who you are. Live unapologetically. Be bold. Go after it. Have the conversation. Make the move. and then make the impact. If you're not making an impact on anybody's life, anywhere, then you're not in your purpose. Be impactful with whatever you do. And know the rest of it will work itself out. So see clearly, move boldly, and have impact. And all these things that we spoke about today, it really does help with clarity. It really does.